All right, very good. Good morning and welcome to this live broadcast here from the KBC National Polytechnic in Nairobi. An amazing day for us here at this particular event, KBC National Polytechnic celebrating 100 years. Now that is older than most of us alive today. I will say that with a lot of authority. 100 years. And we will talk about TVET and polytechnics in the country. One institution that will always come through your mind is KBC National Polytechnic. Most of the politicians that you're seeing in the country today, who is who in the economy today, some of them actually passed through this particular place. But I want us to delve deeper into this conversation and they really understand what is really happening here today. And I'm also made to understand the president will also be gracing this particular event. And what are we looking forward to in as far as celebrating 100 years of KBC National Polytechnic is concerned. And on set, I'm joined by Esther Moria, who is the PS, Dr. Esther Moria, who is the PS for Principal Secretary, State Department for Technical Vocational Education Training in the country. PS, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Victor.
It's been a while. The last time we met was at our studios in KBC.
Yes.
How have you been?
I'm great and grateful to God. Pushing on with the work.
Yes.
No major issues. And the issues that are there, we are able to surmount them.
Yes.
One way or the other. Yes.
Let's talk about 100 years.
Yes.
Now that is a huge statement. KBC National Polytechnic celebrating 100 years. Let me start by asking you, how does that make you feel as the lady in charge of TVETs in the country?
Thank you, Victor. It's amazing that we can talk about such a journey in a space like this.
Yes.
We have decided, and we sat down and decided as a department that we are going to make this a big thing. Originally, we had decided to just celebrate as KBC institution, but we realized that the fact that we're talking about 100 years of the existence of KBC, it's KBC as a TVET institution. So we decided to make it nationwide because we want to celebrate TVET. So we invited His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Ruto, to come to Nyeri National Polytechnic because we wanted to make a statement on top of a hill, symbolically. So we invited him to Nyeri to come and launch the celebration of 100 years of celebrating TVET in Kenya. And we agreed with him, and that is why he will be here tomorrow, that the culmination of this will be now at the spot where TVET started 100 years ago. It is exciting. It's been a journey, and it makes us as TVET sit down and look at where we are coming from, look at the challenges and the hiccups and the success stories, and be able to redefine our way forward, going into the next century, so to speak, for the department. It's exciting, and I am grateful to God that I'm on the seat as we celebrate the 100 years.
I'm quite interested because you talked about the key milestones, the achievements, you know, the hiccups, the hits and misses. But let me start by the key achievements that you so far made ever since you came into office.
Yes.
TVET has been very close to the president's heart, so to speak. What are some of these milestones that you've achieved so far?
Thank you, Victor. Since I have been here about 1.5 years, I came to a space that, to me, did not look very, very focused. Victor, before I came here, I was in a university administration for many years. And my work at the university was really to focus training for the university, JKUAT for that matter. So when I came to this space again, I decided that I wanted to refocus the department as far as training and everything is concerned. So one of the key things that I looked into was the curriculum. What were we training in TVET? What exactly do we want to achieve with a trainee in TVET? And Victor, I decided to refocus the curricula into skills because what we want to achieve in the TVET space is people who have the skills. We go to the higher level and we learn to a very large extent to be managers and to be people at that higher level. But we need people who are actually doing it. So I decided to refocus on coming up with people who are actually doing what they're supposed to do. So I started by recrafting the curricula into skill set, where if we are talking about training building and civil engineers who are also being trained at the universities, I want the technicians, the skilled people in these areas. So we decided to refocus the curricula so that in building and civil engineering, which is my favorite, we have people who can do masonry as should be done to 8. We have people who can do painting to 8. We have people who can do gypsum technology to 8, etc., etc. So that even as you graduate at the higher level of building and civil, you can actually be able to undertake each and every one of these skills, and that goes for every area.
What has it been changing the mindset from the space where you are?
Yes.
And now you're trying to change the mindset of being in a university and making it come together with TVET. How has it been for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I must say it wasn't a very big challenge for me because, like I told you before, my work even at the university was to focus so that the students I admitted, trained, examined, and certified they went through a straight path, whereby if you are admitted to a certain space, there is no saying you are admitted to civil engineering and then I don't know where along the way mechanical. No. I graduated you in what I admitted you to be. So for me, refocusing this space so that if we are training this skill was not an issue. Remember, this is all education, and just deciding this is what we should be educating or training our young people into. For me, was not a big challenge. Yes. So recrafting the curricula is one of the achievements I would want to talk about since I came to the institution. Secondly, is bringing back the examination body. When I came in, I still found NEC as the body that is examining our students.
What do you have currently?
What we have currently now is CDAC, Curriculum Development, Assessment and Certification Council. Fortunately, the then CS and myself were able to have a conversation with His Excellency the President, and he directed that CDAC should come back, and it came back immediately. So what CDAC does is developing the curricula from industry with reference to industry, so that we have industry. We have industry councils who sit with CDAC to come up with occupational standards. From occupational standards, we are able to now develop the curricula that is rolled out now.
That is tailor-made for TVET.
That is tailor-made for that industry.
Yes.
So that if we are training for a particular industry, we already have a conversation with that industry.
Could it be some of the reasons why TVET was not taken so seriously? Because you find that most of the institutions in the country did not have curricula that were not conforming to the market.
Victor, we have had these complaints, let me call them so, for a long time, that industry, in fact, I have been to some industries where I have found now they have a training section where they admit, they employ people, and they have to take them to that small school there to retrain them. And that has been a big conversation between us and the industry. Now we are telling industry, train with us.
So there's a direct link between TVET and the workforce?
Absolutely.
All right.
Train with us, work with us, so that our students now, as we speak, we have adopted the German GIZ model of training, which is 50-50. 50% in our institution, 50% in industry. And we have even formed an industry framework led by one industrialist called Rajiv, who is leading that space, so that we are inviting industry to be able to realize and to work with us, so that our students during training are also training in industry, where they are able to know, therefore, exactly what industry needs.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. And even be able to run the culture of that industry, where they will eventually land.
Yes.
And let me tell you, Victor, the ones the students we have been able to train in this model are already in industry. They are already working. So again, we are talking about employability of our youth. We are working with industry so that our students are able to complete their education and be able to move into the workspace.
Is that changing the mindset?
Yes. As the young people now see that we mean business, our training is directional.
Yes.
We are training with an end in mind. This is slowly convincing the young people that if we are talking about employability, TVET is the space to be. Victor, last year, COPS admitted 9,000 students.
Yes.
Who are qualified to go to the university, but they chose to come to TVET. This year, they admitted 12,000 students who qualified to go to the university, but they have made a choice for TVET. Why? Because, one, we have been able to convince the young people that our training is absolute. It's directional.
Right.
We are giving them an end in their training. And number two, we are not limiting anybody's progress. With Kenya National Qualification Authority, which is an authority within TVET or in the education space, we have come up with a policy, with a progression policy, what we are calling KCATs.
Yes.
Where you can carry your qualifications and be able to go all the way to the university. You can be able to progress all the way. So we are not limiting anybody. But what we are saying is that we have a space where we are able to qualify you with requisite skills that can take you anywhere in this world, and at the same time we have an opportunity to progress to the university space if you are so interested.
But P.S. Neil, from your explanation, I tend to feel that your desk is so full. You have a lot of things to do, with every single time that you wake up in the morning. But then let me ask you, there has been a chain of reforms in the TVET sector.
Yes.
Take me through some of the reforms that you've made this far, and the kind of milestone, either one or two, that you have made the long term or short term that you want to strike, probably before the end of the year.
I have already told you, Victor, about our curricular reform. We are now not training theories. We are training skills. We are training practicals. That is number one. Number two, I have told you that the examination body, which is CDAC, is now back in place. So we are not doing examination, we are doing assessment. And we have now what we call a portfolio of evidence being stored by the principals in the institutions, which is what will count in the examination of the student. And that is what we are calling assessment vis-a-vis examination. And then the other reform, of course, is the training space. We are continuing to come up with more TVET institutions. And also this year, our focus is on linking with industry. In other words, what we are saying is that we are invited industry to our space where we have industrial linkages officers in all the institutions who are speaking to the industries across the country so that they are able to join us. And remember, Victor, because we don't have huge industries like in Germany, which is the model that we are using, Juakali is one of our industries, and we have a lot of Juakali in Kenya. And what we are saying, we are working with the Juakali Association very closely. And what we are saying is Juakali sector is doing, and we want to train our young people to be practical. So we are also working with the Juakali sector to be able to skill our young people. And finally, we are requesting the government, there is a cabinet memo that we have come up with, which we are soon going to table in the new cabinet, which is going to speak into the encouragement initiatives that the government is going to take to encourage the industry to actually be able to work with us. Once the top government makes that pronouncement, then the industry is going to realize that they have a direction opportunity to work with us.
Madam Pierce, you've correctly outlined the achievement that you've made so far. But despite the achievement, it's not a roller coaster.
No.
You have some challenges that you faced along the way.
Yes.
Maybe 1 or 2, or even 10 if you can.
Victor.
Go ahead.
One of my major challenges when I came to the space is, of course, resistance. Well,
people are not ready to take the change.
Oh, Victor, I faced resistance. I have to achieve this through the principals who are actually the actors on the ground, and they had been used to a training system where you go to class and lecture, and you can keep those notes for 1 year.
That's what we call status quo.
The status quo.
Right.
Of course, getting people off the status quo and telling them no, things have to be done this way now was.
And what is the response?
The response
a year
now,
plus later now?
Over a year later, I can tell you that we are working now. We are working together. Yeah, only last week, I was able to go around Nyanza. I was in Nyanza last week, and I was able to go through, among other places I go to from time to time, and I'm able to see what is happening. And right now, even as we speak, Victor, our assessments, what you might call examinations, are going on. And you can see they are going on as is expected on the CDAC model. We still have 2 cohorts of NEC to roll out, so that now we are fully CDAC and CBET. Our curriculum is called CBET, Competency-Based Education and Training. So we have two cohorts to roll out, but we also have 2 cohorts of CBET on the ground since I came to the space. So you can see that the resistance is slowly breaking. I cannot say we are there yet. I know there is still quite some murmuring and some whatever on the ground.
Right.
So that was one of my biggest challenges. The other big challenge, of course, is now with the changes, the influx of students into the space. Yet, we do not have enough equipment yet to be able to.
But that now goes back to the side of the government, because you rolled out the TVET, you opened doors for more students to come in.
Yes.
But infrastructure is now letting you down, Madam Pierce.
Yes. But Victor, Rome was not built in a day.
I agree.
And even as Rome was built, there were challenges. The other day, one of your colleagues told me, we have a lot of problems with CBC. We have some students, some of these children do not have teachers. I said, changes have to come either way. And as changes come, these children, these young people are on the space. We cannot take them to the ocean. We make the changes and bring them back. No, we are going to make changes as they are still there. So even in the TVET space, we have those challenges I saw somebody having written on the papers on the other day. No, I think it was on social media. I'm not going to say no very loudly. That some of our students are learning in tents, some in Mabati buildings. Actually, in Kinango on Saturday, where I was with His Excellency the President, he saw a structure which he decided to build, and he actually gave some money to be built, and that is positive. Because we are having more young people coming, some are learning in tents, but we are going to build. The government may not do it overnight, Victor, but we are going to move on with the challenges and overcome as we move on.
Very well, Madam Pierce. But let's talk about the issue of capitation.
Yes.
What are you doing about it? Students are coming. Some of them are not able to pay the school fees. Is there something you're doing about school, the capitation?
Oh, well, Victor, from where I sit, I can only have a conversation with, I don't know who the government is because I am government myself.
All right, yes.
We can only continue speaking. We can only continue looking into the space because young people have to come to school. And money was never enough. Money has always had to be utilized as it is, as we were. with all the challenges.
What is the proposal as we speak?
The proposal is to continue on the new funding model, where we are saying the ones who are most from the most disadvantaged families, the government will pay for them. The ones like me and you who can pay, that is the sixth bad that has come up now. The people like me and you who can pay for their children, we pay for them, all right? And that is the continuum. So what we are saying is that we are encouraging young people because we want to achieve equity. We are encouraging them to come. Then they apply for funding within the funding model continuum. I am not going to promise you that yes, we are going to be able to fund everybody at the percentage that we should. But as government, we are doing our very best because these young people, as a government, is our priority number one.
Are you afraid of brain drain? That TVET, you are churning out quality, then you let that quality work that you've trained as TVET as a country to be expatriated to some other jurisdictions?
In fact, Victor, what I've realized along the way is that our young people, especially those who are skilled, are not too excited to go out if they can stay within. Of course, there are those who are moving out, and that is because as an economy, we may not be able to absorb all our young people. And as they and when they go out, that is okay because we need them to earn a living as individuals, as families, and we need the remittances as a country.
Yeah.
But I am not afraid of brain drain. Why? Because even as they go on contracts. Like 2 years, like so many years, of course they can renew those contracts and probably be able to come back. But even as those ones go, we are training more. And remember, like in the TVET space, we are actually polishing our training. We are making it better. Remember, since I've told you about the reforms, this has been about only 1.5 years. Give us another 1.5 years. We'll be much better than where we are now. And we will train more. And we are not short of the youth to train. In fact, I've already told you, there are so many now in our institutions. So what we are saying is we are going to train more. And if they can get opportunities within or without, it is okay.
Yes.
It does not occasion brain drain for now. And in any case, because as government, we now actively know where they are. Should we ever need some of them to be back to address one issue or another within the country, we know where they are.
I love your confidence and your focus, the way you are holding TVET in your hands. But this is like your baby.
Yes.
What are some of the growth prospects are we seeing in this baby now?
The good prospects.
The growth.
Growth prospects.
Yes.
One, we are growing every single day in numbers. The young people are coming to our space, and like I've already told you, some of them we have to struggle with the space. We have to train them, and we are also struggling, but we are not too worried as government about the equipment because we are also acquiring equipment. The other day, and His Excellency the President is following it very closely. I signed a contract of about 13 billion to bring in more equipment. So as government, we are working hard to still acquire that equipment. And like I've told you, I'm sure the boss is really following because he is also very fond of this space. So we are doing whatever it will take to be able to make this space comfortable, challenging as it is, because it is a real challenge. And of course, the other challenge is trainers. Last year we were able to get 1,300. This year we are getting 2,000, and I'm sure the trend is going to continue as funds allow.
What keeps you awake at night? What keeps you awake up at night?
What keeps
Anytime you think of TVET, what keeps you awake?
What's next? What better thing can I do? Yesterday when I came in the morning, I was telling Gideon Murenga of GIZ that, Gideon, I was thinking about you last night. And what was I thinking about, Gideon? This dual training, because Victor, I am convinced TVET is going to be a success when we are training our young people 50% in class, 50%. The dual training model.
Yes.
When it takes root, then I will say we are successful. in TVET. So what is keeping me awake at night now is how do we make this dual space, this 50-50 training space? The challenge with it, of course, I've already told you, is that the industries are not quite ready, and that's why we are going to cabinet.
Yes.
To have cabinet speak into them.
And that's called for political kind of approach.
Let me tell you, another advantage that I have. The political class is very fond of this space. If there are people who support the TVET space with absoluteness, and I am very confident of that, is the political class. Why? Because these TVETs are in their constituencies, they are in their homes.
I get it.
And they want the young people to come to these spaces and get trained. Watoke uko mashinani. We are even going all the way into the Pokot. You know those ones in the forest?
Yes.
We are going all the way. So if this pronouncement requires political support, it is there. I'm so confident of that.
Madam PDS, I have to let you go, but I'm told that the chief guest has arrived. But you're parting short, moving forward.
Yes.
100 years of KBC National Polytechnic. This is an achievement.
Yes.
What should we look at in the next 100 years? Most of us probably will not be in the next 100 years.
Me and you, Victor, may most likely will not be here. But in another 100, we are looking at the space where, as a country, as a populace, we have people who have the skills. And my dream would be all these young people you see roaming and borrowing, trying to get 100 shillings from politicians. My dream is that they come to this space, have a skill of their own, something they can really call their own, and something they can leverage on to make a living. In the next 100 years, I would like a populace that is learned, that is educated, that is skilled, and they can be able to leverage on what they can call their own to be able to make a living. 100 years, I will not be here, but in 100 years, I would want to see, to see from wherever I will be, a country where everybody has got something to hold on to, having gotten it from a TVET.
Your name will be written there.
Amen.
Your name will be written there.
Amen.
Madam Pierce, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Pierce Moria joining us. She is the Principal Secretary, State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training. Joining us here at the KBC National Polytechnic, 100 years, celebrating 100 years. Let's take a break. When we come back, more to come from the other side of the broadcasting house. I'm Victor. Good morning.
Thank you.